Hello and welcome to another episode of the VR run-through series. This is being captured in the XRcast Studio on the Penn State Behrend campus. Today we are going to be looking at a very exciting program, very extensive, called Human Anatomy VR. This is a native program on the Quest 2, and then we just have it connected to the PC for casting purposes and recording. We're going to look at the tutorial, and then I'll go in a little bit and kind of just pick apart just to give you an idea of what students would be able to see within there. But the tutorial is very extensive, so I'm just going to look at that first, and that'll give you a really good idea of what is possible. So, all right, let's hop right in. All right, so this is the view that your students will see. They'll come into this kind of lobby area. What is kind of cool that you don't see in a lot of programs is they actually have the time up there on the wall, so that's kind of interesting. But you're just in here, kind of like a medical room. Let's look. Let me see. What does it say? Okay, this is produced by Virtual Medicine, the company that's over here on the wall. Virtual Medicine. And then I'm going to do the whole tutorial. Let's just start from the very beginning.
Welcome to the interactive tutorial. In a few steps we will introduce you to the basic principles of our application. You can skip or finish the tutorial at any time and come back to it later. We hope you enjoy our app and that it helps you explore the human body. Approach the human body. Use the thumbstick on the right controller to move around the room. Point the controller in the direction you want to go and push the thumbstick forward. Select the location of the torso. You must first select the location of the body you are interested in to view anatomical structures. Aim the controller at the torso and confirm the selection by pressing Trigger. Tip: in the settings, availability, you can change the display of body regions to the whole body, pull the sternum out of the human body. Point the controller at the sternum, press and hold trigger when the structure is highlighted. Tip: if you want to observe, return the sternum to its place in the human body. Point the controller at the sternum, press and hold trigger when the structure is highlighted.
It is cool on here, they didn't mention it, but you can also do that. So you can bring things closer just using the thumbstick. Let's put that right back in there. Okay.
Pull at least 3 bones from the human body. Point the controller at the sternum, press and hold trigger when the structure is highlighted.
So in this one, it's showcasing that you can pull and kind of leave it off to the side. If you want to look in more depth at one, you can pull it close and then leave it. Let's take this one as well.
Return the given structures to their original location using the step back function. Press the B button on the right controller briefly to return the structure to its original location. Repeat the action until you have returned all structures to their original location. Tip: holding down the B button will trigger the undo function completely, returning all objects to their original position at once.
Okay. So yeah, if I pointed and click B, it does that. If I hold, brings them all back. All right, so that's lesson 1.
Pull the sternum out of the human body. Point the controller at the sternum. Press and hold trigger when the structure is highlighted. Increase the size of the sternum. Grab the sternum with one controller by pressing and holding down trigger, then aim at it with the other controller and also press and hold down trigger while holding the object. Return the sternum to its place in the human body.
Okay. And I don't have to shrink it. I could just do that. Perfect. Oh, I inadvertently opened hand menu.
Find the info panel button in the hand menu, point to it with the controller, and confirm by pressing trigger. Point the controller at several structures. Keep pointing at a given structure until its name is displayed. A detailed description of the highlighted structure is displayed on the info panel.
Okay, so let's look at the sternum. And then it gives you the info panel, everything you need to know about that. And it says it wants me to do that 5 times. So let's look at this one. Now we're looking at the hip bone. Then let's look at one of the ribs. Let's look up here. The scapula.
Click on the microanatomy button in the models section to view the microanatomical models.
Microanatomy up here, so different categories.
Close the hand menu. Press the menu button on the left controller. Tip, long press the menu button to anchor the hand menu to the environment. You can also point the controller at the header of the hand menu and press the trigger button to grab it and place it where you need it.
So yeah, if I wanted to hide, I could do that. Or if I wanted to leave it somewhere, I just grab this header.
Alveolar tree and place it in space. Tip, some objects are connected and are called multi-objects. These objects have the label multi-object under the label.
Okay. Yeah, and this is called a multi-object, so I can...
Click on the arrow next to the merged button and explore the 3 objects on the alveolar tree model.
Okay. So you see they said that this is a multi-object there. And if I click this, it will lead me through odd. Am I not doing that right? Maybe I have to leave it in. What the heck? Okay, I'm not too sure what's up with that one. It's only showing 1 layer there, but that's all right. I think we get the idea. Obviously, the idea is that this has multiple components to it, so being able to separate those components and look at them individually. So let's just skip step for now. All right, so that was the end of that lesson 2.
However, if you want to place the panel in a precise location in space and keep it in the same position when you move, click the pin button on the right side at the top of the panel. Tip, all panels of this type can be moved to a desired position while being pinned.
So what they mean by that is it's kind of convenient if I have this here and it's not pinned and I look this way, you can see it following right kind of to my side here. But if I wanted it over there and stay there, then it will remain.
Point to the header of the tutorial panel and press and hold trigger. Pin the hand menu in the space. Press the pin button, top right, hand menu will pin in space. It will switch to tools section. To open the entire tools menu, press the open tools button in the hand menu. Tip, in the quick actions section. Switch back to models section. Press the Open Models button in the hand menu to open entire scale.
Oh, okay. So yeah, just jumping between, I mean, you've got all the models listed here in your hand menu, or you can just jump and look at all the tools that you have available. And I will, after we're done with the tutorial, I'll make sure to review everything that is actually in here. But they're just showing you different functionality.
Change the display of body regions to the whole body in settings, accessibility, but you won't be able to select the location of the head. To view the anatomical structures, you must first select the body location you are interested in. Aim the controller at the head and confirm the selection by pressing trigger. Tip, you can change the display of body regions to the whole body. Rotate the skull using the left controller. Tilt the thumbstick on the left controller to the left until you see the left side. Rotate
Okay, so yeah, just generally showing the functionality of your left controller is how you control the model. So, or the left thumbstick. So that is convenient.
Turn on the muscular system. Use the buttons in the hand menu to add and remove different systems. Point the controller at the muscular system button and confirm by pressing trigger. Remove 4 layers from the muscular system. Some systems can be layered one layer at a time. Point the controller at the small minus button within the muscular system button and press trigger repeatedly.
Yep. So as you see here, there's got a bunch of different levels, and I'm going to be able to slowly subtract.
Display all layers of the muscular system again. Point the controller at the small plus button within the muscular system button and press trigger repeatedly until all layers of the muscular system. Turn on the hide function. In the hand menu, point to the hide button and confirm by pressing trigger on the controller. Hide at least 5 structures from the human body. With the hide function on, point the controller at an anatomical structure and confirm by pressing trigger on the controller.
So as you see, I have hide selected. Now I'm just going to, they said I think 5. 1, 2, 3.
Display the hidden structures using the step back function. Press the B button on the right controller briefly to unhide hidden structures. Repeat the action until you have displayed all hidden structures. Tip: hold down the B button to execute the undo function completely, displaying all hidden structures.
All right, holding. Done.
Turn off the muscular system. Use the hand menu buttons to add and remove different systems. Point the controller at the muscular system.
All right, so that was lesson 5.
Turn on the ANT mode function. In the hand menu, point to the ANT mode button and confirm by pressing trigger on the controller.
So ant mode.
To the marked place in front of the human body. Use the thumbstick on the right controller to move around the room. Point the controller in the direction you want to go and push the thumbstick forward. Tip: you can also fly up or down while the ANT mode is on, simply by pointing the controller in. Point the controller at 5 structures. Keep pointing at a given structure until its name appears.
All right, so I'm pointing in 7th rib. Keep pointing. So it just wants me to look at these structures, and let's look at what that is. Until the name appears. Okay.
Turn on the hide function. In the hand menu, point to the hide button and confirm by pressing trigger on the controller.
Okay. Click hide. Let's hide at least
5 structures from the human body. With the hide function on, point the controller at an anatomical structure and confirm by pressing trigger on the controller. Show all the structures you have hidden. Press the B button on the right controller briefly to step back. Turn off the ANT mode function. In the hand menu, point to the ANT mode button.
Okay. I guess there's only that many for the tutorial. Yep. So you are able to, on Quest, also do hand tracking. So they just are showing you, there's 2 different tutorials. One is for talking about using the controllers, and one is if you want to do the hand tracking, obviously you don't have the B button, you don't have the joystick, so there's going to have to be a different way of engaging. Typically, when we've had students come in, we've just had them use controllers. And when we have had students come in this semester, we had them, we told them definitely do the tutorial first, because as you can see, that tutorial was pretty extensive. It showed you a lot of the functionality, and it makes the student a lot more comfortable with navigating everything. And then when they jump into the start, it's really fresh. They know what they're doing, and they're able to explore a lot more quickly and effectively. So now that I'm in here, what I'll do is kind of summarize a little bit of that. As we saw, we have the info panel where I'm able to look at the skull. Let's see this merged functionality. It's the skull, but this the layers thing, I have to figure that out a little bit more. Does it show? Because this is made up of many pieces, and it does maybe unfold. Oh, okay. Oh, let me get this out of the way. Okay, so that still turns that. Not sure. Oh, okay. Now that's pretty cool. Let me fold it back together, unfold, fold. Very cool. And let me put that back in there. Perfect. All right. So yeah, we have the basic functionality there. Now let's look at what it includes in here in terms of the full models. We've got a skeleton. So, skeleton, muscles. These are the tissues. Oh, I gotta get used to the. Okay, let me just pin this because it is kind of getting annoying there. Let me put that on the one side. Okay. So, gives you the tissue. Okay. Gives you the skin and everything. Then let's see the brain, getting rid of the tissue and that. Okay, I wonder, does this have any, it is not merged, so it doesn't appear that it would, yeah. Now let me look at this cadaver. Wow. So they've got, for this one, got a bunch of different cadavers already. Let's see what that looks like when you. Interesting. So just pulling up pictures to accompany. Okay. So now these are showing you real pictures of this, because obviously the model is animation. But okay, so forget about the cadaver. The next one to look at. So we see the brain here. The nerve system here. Kind of. Obviously, this is going to be something that might be a little bit easier to see in ant mode. Here's the arteries, showing you how they're all connected. When you turn the joystick to the left or to the right on the right hand, it does jump you around, so that's a little bit, I have to get used to that. Okay, so you can, veins as well, lymph nodes, respiratory. Interesting the way it looks in your head there. And the digestive system. Oh, see, I keep doing that. My right controller. Interesting. So those are all of the male models that are on here. If it was female, I'm sure it's going to be pretty much the same anatomical structures. Yep. Although they don't have any of the, appears that they don't have the reproductive stuff. Did they have that on the, oh wait, no. Okay, sensory and endo. Okay. Don't seem to have that for female, not sure why. All right, now this is the microanatomy they talked about, so looking at things that are very small. the blood artery, different components of it. Cool. Okay. Blood vessel, peripheral nerve. Tendon, an eye. Can't even see that olfactory organ. I'm not a science person, so I don't know. Let's see, ear, skin, interesting. The tongue, okay. And again, this is a multi-object, so let's see what that. So let me unfold these. What the heck? Okay. Then we got a tooth here, kidney lobe, gland, a lymph node, sperm, and a secondary something. All right, so that was for the micro anatomy piece. Now let's look at the animations. Okay. Showing the, raise the model up a little bit. Just showing how that changes the muscles. The muscles have to move. Do it again. So we're looking at the muscles on the side here. Interesting. Hypertension, elevation. So obviously there's quite a lot here, the different movements that it shows, all for the head. And then I'll do the same, kind of look for the torso here. And maybe to go through a little bit more quickly, I can have one up here, and then if you needed to, and you wanted to pause and look at what's on this menu, so you can get an idea of everything that's available. Let me scroll down. Okay, so there's these 6, and these last 3, hyperextension. I could see this being interesting for like a kinesiology class or something where you're talking about exercises and what kind of exercises, what muscles each exercise might target. So let's look at the hand. Got a good amount for hand, wow. Oh, and it goes all the way up to the elbow. Let me just start from the top. Okay, so as you can see, extension of digits, flexion of digits, wrist, thumb. Okay, so hopefully I didn't go through that too quickly, but That's all of the animations that are here for the hand. I'll just look at them again one more time. Feel free to pause at any moment if you wanted to see these 6 and kind of get a better idea. Okay, now let's look at the leg, hyperextension of hip, flexion of hip, lateral rotation. So that's these 6. And then there's 6 more here. 6 more here. And then these last 2. The toes. Okay, so that is all we have. Let me see about... Okay, so we got through male, female, microanatomy, animations. Doesn't appear to be anything more on this. I do want to look, when I open the tools here, I wanted to look a little bit. Wait, where was it? And why is it only showing so many now? Oh, okay, design functions. So quick actions, I guess you can do, and that's just kind of like the things that are pinned. In terms of the interactions, I mean, this pretty much does the same thing that my joystick on my left hand was able to do. You can rotate the model on its side. I guess I couldn't do that before, actually. So that is good to have. I can reset the position. Okay. Functions gives me the info panel. Let's see what a search looks like. Okay, so it shows me a skull. Interesting. So that's cool. You're able to search that. What if I didn't have any model? I just... Okay. So it does have some search. We saw the cadavers. They've got ones for the back. Or the abdomen, sorry. So there's quite a lot of these. I'm not really sure how relevant they will be. Might be good as a an auxiliary material for someone as they're looking at a model, but I can't really imagine that many students are going to gravitate towards them, because these images are something that could probably be seen through a computer screen just fine, as opposed to a VR. But I'm still going to go through these just to show you all the different structures. Let's see what. And each one of these, wow. Got a lot of pictures for each one. Okay. Okay. And this is the last category. Okay, so definitely a lot of the cadavers here. A lot of them. All right, so we've seen info panel, search, cadaver. Let me put up the muscle and let's see what they mean by cut. Oh, see, this is, I do like when they have this. They've got this panel here that I'm able to hold on to, and I just run it through. I can look at a cross section of the body. Very interesting. It'd be especially interesting, I'm sure, with like some of the digestive system and stuff. So that's definitely a cool feature. That's on the cut section. Then we did get a chance to see ant mode. That is a really cool one. I think when we did have students in, let me get rid of this cut. When we had students in, they really loved that ant mode, being able to just shrink down and fly, into the body and look at the structures and everything. Very unique, kind of like Magic School Bus-esque, which I loved that. So, click this menu up. Ant mode. I don't know what that is. Okay. Not really sure what to do here, but I guess you can load in files. So we don't have anything prepared for that. Not sure exactly of the use case per se. There is able to be a quiz in here. So has a timer on here. Highlighted. Okay. So that's the heel. I don't know. So again, on the foot, I couldn't tell you. Oh, that's that hand. Come on, I knew that. But let's see. If I just click all through these. I mean, these are all generic questions. I wonder if it allows an instructor to input questions. That would be cool. But I'm not certain. So it does give you what my answers were and what they should have been. It gives you a score. So let me X out of the, excuse me. Does it change, like if I'm looking at the tissues now, is the whole quiz going to be just about the tissues? It appears so. Okay. So I guess you could have students, you could assign the students to go into a specific model. Maybe it's the brain, and then they would have to answer that. That's cool. This time, I was actually able to get all the way into the brain. Oh, right, yeah, I forgot to use the brain last time. I forgot to use these layer options where I can look. This is the lowest layer. I can layer it up slowly but surely. Wow, very interesting. Okay, so that's the quiz functionality. Let's see what they mean by sort. That might be just like an auto if I had a bunch of these pulled apart or something. Click sort. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I'm not really sure about that. I guess if I wanted to pull a bunch out and I didn't want it to be a mess, because it's kind of all over the place here, I just click that. I guess it would organize kind of into a circle around me here. So I can just quickly get back to one of these. And then I just click the B to get them all back in. Then highlight. Let's see. Let me go back to something a little bit easier to see. So I can keep those highlighted. This would be good for maybe a faculty member if they were producing a video, or if they wanted to showcase something to their students, they could keep certain sections highlighted as they were going through. Then we already know the hide functionality. I can just get rid of certain things. In terms of the drawing, so I guess if you were a professor who wanted to be teaching from this, you could do that. Let's see what I could draw certain things to highlight. I presume. Okay, let's see. Undo all. Wait, how do I? Okay. And then if I had something highlighted, it would unhighlight and everything. So it looks like this is a pretty solid menu. Gives you quite a lot of opportunity here. Then let's look at interactions. Yep, we already saw that one. Pretty much can do everything from your controller. And lastly, application. There is a pass-through mode on here. Let's see what that looks like. I'm not sure how it comes through on the screen, but pass-through, for anyone who's not aware, is a functionality that Oculus Quests have where it uses the outside cameras on the headset to create, to show you the world around you. And in this case, the program has it where you can click pass-through and it would showcase the world around you with the model in it. It's not as functional for Quest. I'm not sure if you can see it in here, but it is actually black and white. So this isn't really the greatest. On the new Quest Pro, they are full color pass-through, so it's a lot more of a seamless experience. If you were a professor who was teaching and you wanted to have this up, you could always have it that this was casting to a screen in your classroom, and then you would have the model right in front of you, and you could have the full color pass-through, assuming you had the Pro. You could have the full color pass-through, and you could see all your students. If one of them raised their hand, you could see, oh, your hand is up. Yeah, what's up? And they could be seeing what you're seeing on the screen behind you or whatever. So this is definitely a cool functionality to have pass-through. And it does work right now on Quest. It is just black and white, so you're going to see all your students in black and white. And it might be a little bit more challenging. Maybe I'm not sure if you get a headache after a while of seeing black and white. I'm not sure. But so pass through, quick settings. Is there anything? Change the language. That's kind of convenient. Let's see what other. So it's not too many options, but if you do have students who their native language is, one of these other languages, it might be nice to be able to show that to them in a language that might be a little bit easier for them to understand a little more quickly. Okay, medical content, English, cadaver type, university, movement. Okay, reload. So, I think that is everything. I mean, I looked through this whole menu. I looked through the open models. I looked through the tools. We see the quick settings. Yeah, I think that is all. So I appreciate you all watching. I hope this was a good view of an interesting program that is available. This is the Human Anatomy VR program. I am capturing this. I should have mentioned this at the beginning. I am capturing this with a free trial version we were able to get. And if you're interested in seeing this in your class, I encourage you to reach out. Currently, the team we have focused on this particular project consists of a faculty member here at Behrend, the VAR lab, and Nick Smirker from TLT. He was the one who was able to hook us up. He communicated with Virtual Medicine to get that free trial. And there is a subscription cost with this if we wanted to do the full version. What is nice is it's based off of headset. It's not based off of student. There's no need for your students to pay for their slot or anything like that. So thank you for joining another VR run-through in the VR run-through series. This, again, was the Human Anatomy VR program. This is being captured in the XRcast Studio on the Penn State Behrend campus. And that's all I've got for you today. Thank you.